Hello everybody, Maven here, and today we're talking about the brand new Trials of Osiris machine gun, the Unwavering Duty, and the reason why it is the new best machine gun in Destiny 2. Hashtag not clickbait. In this video, we'll be going over the reasons why that is, and also I'll be showing you a build that really pushes its power level over the top. So stay tuned, and if at any point you find this video helpful, I'd appreciate a like. These videos take a lot of work in editing, and with that, let's get to it. Hope you enjoy. So there are three main reasons why I believe the Unwavering Duty is the best machine gun. Thing number one is going to be that it can get adept mods. You know, there's not many machine guns in the game that have that luxury. There is the corrective measure, which is Void. There's the swarm adept, which is Arc. And now we have the solar counterpart, which is the Unwavering Duty. Adept mods add a lot to a weapon for PvE, let me tell you. Thing number two is going to be the perk pool. If you take a look at all of the options here, this thing has some cracked rolls. There are a few that stand out for me. If you want it for PvP, there's going to be dynamic sway reduction, tap the trigger. You can slap on adept range, adept Icarus, adept stability, depending on what input you're on. And for PvE, you have access to the best perk possible on a machine gun, and that is Killing Tally. Killing Tally, you get a stack of it on each kill, stacks up to 3 times, and gives you a 30% damage buff that stays there permanently until you either reload the weapon or stow it. So it's ridiculous. This perk was originally on the 21% Delirium, but was reintroduced a couple seasons ago on the fixed odds. Now the fixed odds is decent, it's a 360 RPM, also solar, but if you take a look at its perk pool, there is something very crucial missing. The fixed odds does not have a way to take advantage of Killing Tally forever, because you're eventually going to have to reload the magazine. The only way to get around this is using the transversive steps on Warlock. But now if you take a look at the Unwavering Duty, in the first column it has access to subsistence, so you don't have to reload the weapon. You can just keep that Killing Tally up forever, because every time you get a kill, it reloads bullets back into the magazine, so you never have to lose that damage buff. And then you also have the Field Prep perk, which gives you an extra 45 ammo in the reserves, which is great. And then you also have Auto Loading Holster, which if you are a speedrunner, if you're trying to mow through GMs really quickly, you don't want to take that downtime to reload, so there's that option for you. And then you have access to Incandescent if you want to scorch things and take advantage of your solar build. And some of you guys are going to be curious about Cascade Point. I managed to get an auto loading Cascade Point roll here, I'll show it to you. And I just gotta say, I am not impressed with this perk. It does not last as long as you would want it to. It basically doubles the rate of fire for like 2 seconds. It's not worth it. So I would say the ultimate god roll for this thing would be Subsistence Killing Tally or Field Prep Killing Tally, whichever floats your boat. And finally, on to thing number 3. Now you, like most Destiny players, probably use d2gunsmith.com to theorize your best possible god rolls. Now, d2gunsmith.com really goes in depth on details about every single weapon. However, it is missing one crucial hidden stat for the Unwavering Duty here. Inventory size, another hidden stat within Destiny 2 that some of you guys probably didn't know existed. So let's go on over to light.gg because this stat is listed on there. So some machine guns rank as low as a 20 inventory size, and some go upwards of the mid 40s. But that doesn't mean you can only hold 40 bullets, it's just a stat number. But anyways, this has kind of always been the ballpark for machine guns, ranging from like the 30s to 40s. However, the Unwavering Duty takes this to an all-time high by far, with an inventory size of 58. That is ridiculous. So now let's do some testing. So for the first test, we are going to have machine gun reserves on our chest piece. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but for machine guns specifically, I think running multiple reserve mods has diminishing returns. So I think 1 is a good number for this. So first up here, we have the Avalanche Dawning machine gun that is another 450 RPM Suros machine gun, the exact same thing as the Unwavering Duty. Now let's go ahead and hit this rally banner here and see what our total reserves are. And now onto the Unwavering Duty. Mine has Field Prep, which does increase the reserves by 45 bullets. Now let's go ahead and hit this rally banner. 370 ammo. That is nearly double of the Avalanche. That is a ridiculous amount of ammo. So for this next test, we're going to do some damage testing. So first we're going to compare against the Hothead Adept. This is, of course, the meta rocket launcher at the moment. This is what all the sweaty PvE players want you to have before you join their fire team. Field Prep, Clown Cartridge, Impact Casing with Adept Big Ones. This rocket launcher is a beast. Now let's go ahead and shoot it against Karl the Colossus and see how many rockets it takes to take him down. So it took 3 total rockets. Now on to the Unwavering Duty with killing tally times 3 active plus adept big ones. So we started off with 70 ammo in our magazine and we ended off with 19. So seeing as how we missed a shot and missed a lot of crits, we're just gonna round it here and say, in theory, it takes 50 bullets to kill Carl. So if 50 bullets is the equivalent to 3 rockets, put that into perspective over 370 ammo reserves for the Unwavering Duty. That is the equivalent to about 22 rockets. That's a lot of damage, and that's a lot of ad clearing power. Now let me get some numbers on the screen for you here. So the hothead is hitting 105,840 damage per rocket, and the base reserves is 8 rockets. So that comes out to 846,000 damage. And now onto the Unwavering Duty, hitting 6,918 damage per bullet times 348 reserves. That is the amount it holds without machine gun reserves. That is just the base level. We're hitting 2.4 million damage. Yeah, I'll let that one sink in for you. And now for this next test, we got the machine gun reserve still on. We have machine gun scavenger on our boots. And now we are starting off with the avalanche again, and we're gonna walk over a brick of heavy ammo and see how much we get. We scavenged 68 ammo, and now on to the Unwavering Duty, 129 ammo. That is almost double what we scavenged on the avalanche. Now comparing that number to our hothead damage earlier, it's as if we scavenged over 8 rockets, just from one heavy brick. And finally, let's put this all together. So the most ridiculous machine gun reserves in Destiny 2 history, the best possible machine gun perk, and the fact that it can slot adept mods, I think makes it the best machine gun in Destiny 2. Standalone, because obviously there's things like the corrective measure with Demolitionist Adrenaline Junkie and the Terminus Horizon with Demolitionist Adrenaline Junkie. They are for niche builds, grenade builds, but just as a standalone machine gun, I would say Unwavering Duty takes the cake. And this brings us to our build for the Unwavering Duty. We got Path of the Burning Steps with double special. We are rocking 100 strength and 100 resilience. The reason being we are running melee Wellmaker with bountiful wells, 2 copies of melee Wellmaker, so we make 3 total elemental wells when we get that knee charge kill. I got Seeking Wells because sometimes the wells like to fly away from you, so they'll just track right towards you. And then we are running the healing grenade. So we're trying to get that healing grenade energy back as much as possible because like I always say, the key to the best possible PvE build is going to be survivability. You don't want to die, of course. So we have Ember of Empyrean. We're trying to extend the duration of that healing forever just by getting solar kills. So at the start of every engagement, you want to just throw a healing nade. Even if it's not going to heal you, just throw one because all your solar kills are going to extend the restoration throughout the rest of the encounter. And we got that hammer strike, so that's what we're trying to use to take advantage of our melee Wellmaker. And the reason that we want these wells is because we're taking advantage of Font of Might. Font of Might's going to give us a 25% damage buff for 11 seconds when we pick up one of those solar elemental wells. That's why we are running double outreach on our class side and we're trying to spam melees as much as possible. That's why I got 100 strength here. And also had to mention, if you don't really care for the melee spam, another way to set up this build is going to be elemental time dilation with multiple copies of Font of Might so that your Font of Might will last 21 seconds instead, so you can take better advantage of it. And now the good thing about Font of Might is that it stacks with the buff from the Path of Burning Steps. So the Path of Burning Steps are going to give you a stack of Firewalker that lasts 10 seconds when you get a solar kill. In 1 to 3 solar kills, you will get a stack. It is random. It averages out around 2, but it is 1 to 3 kills will give you a stack of Firewalker. I'll put the damage numbers on the screen right now. It caps out at a 40% damage buff at Firewalker times 4. So it's pretty hefty, and Font of Might stacks on top of that. But unfortunately, sadly to say, Radiant from your Solar 3.0 subtext does not stack on top of Firewalker. That is why I am not running the Ember of Torches. So for our aspects, we are running Soul Invictus as well as Roaring Flames. Now you don't technically need Roaring Flames. If you love Consecration, you can run that. I just have it for the heck of it. Now we are running Ember of Solace that increases the duration of a restoration. And then we have Ember of Blistering. So when we go in for that knee kill, it's going to make targets ignite. So that is going to give us some grenade energy back so we can spam healing grenades more if we happen to run out of restoration. We got Ember of Eruption to increase the area of effect of our ignitions, and then we got Ember of Empyrean, of course, to make our restoration last as long as the encounter does. Now for our weapon choices, I gotta start this by saying I highly recommend going with double special. Whatever you do, please go double special with this build. When you're using a machine gun as your general ad clear, you always want to go with double special weapons. And the reason being is that when you use a special weapon to get a final blow, it is more likely to drop heavy ammo. And when you get a heavy ammo final blow, it is more likely to drop special. They feed into each other very well. If you are stubborn and use a primary, double primary, the build's not going to work out as much for you. So double special for sure. Now I like using the Wither Horde, as you can tell by my kill tracker. However, if you wanted to use an exotic in your special slot, I would recommend the Riptide. Just when you're using this build, I would just recommend using fusion rifles or shotguns. So I'm using Cartesian coordinate because, you know, it's solar, so it takes advantage of Firewalker. And if you're not using a Cartesian, you could use something like the 7 Seraph CQC with auto-loading holster and trench barrel if you have one of those. If you don't have either, you can just run any solar fusion or any solar shotgun. I would just recommend one of those two weapon types because you need some heavy damage when you have that Firewalker active if you run into a fat enemy. Because I'll play this clip here with Firewalker ×4, Cartesian kind of melts Carl faster than the Unwavering Duty can. So you need that heavy hitter. And you can also slap a Wither Horde on Carl as well and melt him even faster. And I gotta say that I'm kind of questioning Wither Horde on this build. I don't know if you actually really need it because typically you want to keep swapping to Wither Horde when the auto-loading holster procs, but you don't want to swap off Unwavering Duty because you'll lose killing tally. So in that case, another recommendation would be Izanagi's Burden if you just need that nuke option. So anyways, I will leave this dim loadout in the description down below and also in the pinned comment if you would like to give it a try. So for this next clip here, I wanted to test this build out in a Legend Lost Sector. This is a Sepulcher Lost Sector on the Throne World. And right off the bat, as you can see, we melt through that Arc Shield match game, by the way. Don't even care, because killing tally ×3 plus Firewalker ×2 is strong enough to just melt through that thing, no problem. And I don't know if you caught that right there, but you see that barrier champion? I am not running a single anti-barrier weapon on this build right now because I know my machine gun is so strong that it can just kill that barrier champion before he can even put up his shield. We killed that wizard in like 4 bullets, by the way. It's a wizard. Like, those things normally take a bunch of shots, but it doesn't matter. The light bearer wizard's about to pop up right here, and as you can see, we melt it in just a few bullets, finish that thing off, we reload our weapon, and we're ready to go downstairs. So we can get a fresh proc here on our killing tally, and there's another barrier champion right here. Melt straight through that thing like butter, don't care about your barrier. Now there is an unstop here coming up ahead, and I did opt for going with the Bastion kinetic fusion rifle so that we can just barrier that thing down. We pull out our Cartesian, melt that thing. A second ago we reloaded our machine gun, so we're ready to go with the fresh new mag. We set up a restoration again so we can get that Ember of Empyrean going. And right here the light bearer is about to spawn. It is the Blade Barrage Hunter light bearer. I get ready for that thing, I line up, and as you'd expect, I schmelt that thing, finish it off, and now in order to open the barrier to the next room, I have to just kill all the little trash mobs in here, so I'll just skip ahead. So we kill all the trash mobs, we open the room to the boss room. I start this interaction off by throwing a healing grenade to get my Ember of Empyrean going for the infinite restoration. I melt the boss down with my machine gun just to show off its damage, although in a realistic scenario I probably would have used my Cartesian coordinate there or popped my hammers. Now there is a barrier champion in this room as well, so I do a fresh little reload to get some bullets. And I would melt him here. I was looking for him, but he's kind of eluding me. He normally just pops up out of nowhere. He's normally there, but for some reason he was just gone here. So I have to, unfortunately, reload my machine gun again. I release some trash mobs so that I can proc killing tally ×3 again. And we have the Firewalker ×4, so we have a crazy massive damage buff, and we melt through that barrier champion. Kill that last little mob there, and that is the Legend Lost Sector done after shooting a couple mobs here and jump roping. So anyways, that is going to do it for the video. This is definitely my new main machine gun, not only for general play, but for Grandmasters as well. When those come back, definitely going to be using this thing in a Grandmaster because it is very, very capable of being used in high level content. And when you use a machine gun in a Grandmaster, it's usually to break shields for a match game. And for Solar, that's definitely going to be the Unwavering Duty. For Void, I would use the Corrective Measure, and for Arc, I would use the 7 Seraph Saw. Now, the Saw was always considered to be the best machine gun because it can make War Mine cells, and its reserves are pretty good as well. However, just because of the fact that Unwavering Duty's reserves are ridiculous, on top of having Killing Tally, I think is going to tower over the fact that it can't make War Mine cells. I think that it is definitely worth it. Anyways, huge tangent, we gotta wrap this video up. If you have any ideas that could contribute to this Firewalker build, feel free to share in the comments down below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment, because those two actions really help the algorithm and the video's performance. And if you're new and you enjoy build videos and weapon testing videos just like this, make sure to subscribe, because we do this all the time here. I hope you have a nice rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.